I wanted to do a video for men on understanding women because I think that's a very strong, area that men seem to be having trouble with, and a lot of men are coming to me being confused and just confused and baffled and frustrated because they don't understand what women want, how to keep women happy, and why, when they do try to be a nice guy and make her happy, it tends to backfire on them. And this creates a negativeness and a big conflict on what they're meant to do. On the one hand, you want a woman, you want to please her, but on the other hand, women seem to not appreciate that either, and they tend to take you for granted and take advantage of you. So that creates that bit of negativeness. And I wanted to make a video to explain what's the best thing for a man to do. Yes, it's coming from a woman's perspective, but I think it's important that you understand, whether it's coming from me or whether it's coming from another guy, that you understand how attraction works and how maintaining the attraction and maintaining a good, healthy relationship works after the initially attracting a woman. So as you know, there's plenty of videos out there, plenty of guys giving advice to other guys on how to pick up women and how to, initially attract a woman. So that topic is covered quite extensively already, and I'm not going to go there. But what men tend to struggle with then is, after they get a woman, how do you keep that attraction? How do you keep it going? Because there's so many elements you need to try to balance when you're in a relationship, okay, right? You need to balance keeping your woman happy. You need to balance your career. You need to balance your social life, and, other stuff. So it can really drag you down when you're trying to balance all these things and trying to keep a happy relationship. So a lot of men tend to not understand how to do this. Okay, a mistake that a lot of people make. So a lot of people, they go into a relationship trying to fulfill a certain part of their life that wasn't fulfilled before. So what women and men tend to do, they'll get into a relationship thinking wrongly that the relationship is going to help fix something, fix an unhappy area of their life. So before, they might have thought, I'm really unhappy because I don't have a man in my life. Okay, and then they get a man in their life, and then they're happy for a while, and then they're not happy again. And then they start to think, why aren't I happy? And women start to demand stuff of the man, thinking now he needs to do all this stuff for me. That's why I'm not feeling happy. Okay, she forgets that it's actually her responsibility to be happy. Okay, no one else can make you happy except for yourself. All right, that the mistake is when you assume the partner you're with, it's their job to keep you happy. It's their responsibility to do all this stuff and to keep you fulfilled and satisfied. When it's not. Okay, the point of a relationship is to enhance what you've currently got and make it even better. So if you go into a relationship trying to fix things, fix areas of your life that you weren't happy with, then you're in for a huge surprise, because it doesn't work like that. Okay, it might distract you for a week, a couple of months, a couple of years, but eventually the thing that is missing will come back to bite you in the ass. So the key is to recognize when this is happening. So when a woman, starts complaining at you and demanding a bunch of stuff and saying, I want this, I want that, why don't you do this for me, why don't you do that, start complaining a lot, that's a sign that she's not happy about something in her life that, she might not even recognize, but it's there. Your job is to make sure you rechannel that energy into something else. What a lot of men mistakenly do is they fall into the trap of believing that if they gave her all that she wanted, then she'll be happy, when that's only a band-aid solution. Okay, she might be happy for a moment, but then because she's not addressing why she's truly not happy, then it's going to come back again. And once again, she's going to complain to you and say, you're not doing it right, you're not doing it enough, and, which will make you feel even worse. And, then that cycle starts all over again. She's demanding a whole heap of stuff, and then you thinking, oh, there's nothing else you can do except giving her all she wants to try to make her happy. She's happy for a moment, so you believe, oh, it sort of works. And then she becomes unhappy again, and it just starts all over again. So you don't want to fall into that trap, because not only when you do that, it's going to lower her respect for you, because she thinks that you basically have no backbone, and you just her slave basically. Like, who are you meant to be other than her slave? And she loses her attraction for you. So that's one negative of the whole thing. And as well as, she gets bored. She loses attraction, and she becomes more unhappy. Okay, and that's when doing more stuff, she will come to the point where she realizes you doing more stuff for her doesn't make her happy anymore. And actually, she even come to the point where she doesn't even want you to do more stuff for her. And once she realizes that, then she will leave the relationship, because in her mind, there is no hope left. And once she gets to that point of thinking it's hopeless, then she'll leave. Okay, so that is like the biggest common mistake men and women tend to make, is believing that their partner's meant to be the one to make them happy, when, the only person that can make you happy is yourself. Okay, and this is where the true beauty of this comes in, is by understanding what makes you happy. So, before you got into a relationship, you had other things that made you happy. You weren't just trying to get a woman or, to fill you up and make you happy. You did find happiness within yourself. It might be socializing with your friends, or work maybe, or doing a certain project, or sports, or whatever it is that made you happy. You do have the ability to find things to entertain yourself with, right? And believe it or not, she will have things too that she used to do by herself or with her friends to entertain herself and make herself happy. She might have just forgotten about those things, and that's when you need to remind her. So when you recognize that she started to abandon all those things she used to do and starting to lose herself in the relationship, which happens a lot, and then she starts complaining at you because she's not happy, then you need to get down to the bottom of why she's not happy. So you need to ask her, what else is wrong? Because it's not that you haven't washed the dishes, or the house is a mess, or you haven't done this for her, you haven't done that for her. That is a signal that she's crying out to you. She is crying out for help because she's not happy. She's not happy, and she thinks that, she needs to complain to you about it because she doesn't know what else to do. Okay, so then you need to listen to her, recognize that she's just not happy about something else, and then redirect her focus on that other thing. Okay, get her to forget the fact that she's upset about the dishes or house being a mess. Get her to go back to what she really is upset about, and then talk about that. Because once she refocuses on the right problem and talks about it and gets it out of her system, then she will feel so much better. And it doesn't require you to do a whole heap of stuff for her. It should never be about that. And then, once you've done that, then it might be a good idea to start allowing her to see, or encouraging her to find ways to entertain herself, because some people, they'll lose themselves in the relationship and not even realize it because it is so subtle that they don't even realize that, 6 months later, oh, I've lost my identity. I don't do the things I used to do. I don't go out with friends. Like, all I do is spend my time hanging out with this one person, and it is starting to drain me and become a negative thing. So you want to remind her that, push her to maintain her identity. And you do that by first talking to her about it, so communicating, and then second, giving her the space to do it. This is where space is really important. Once you get into a relationship and you're comfortable, right? You don't want to be staying at home all day, spending all your time together. That can become really suffocating after a while. What you want to do is you make sure that, you start going out and doing stuff, hanging out with your friends, or, doing your hobbies or careers or other stuff out of the house preferably. And once you do that, she might not be happy with that at first, but once she gets into the habit of seeing you leave and disappear certain times of the week, then she'll start automatically finding things to entertain herself with. So she might start going out with her friends, going shopping, doing her projects and hobbies, because she can see that, oh, you're doing this, which gives her all this time to spend by herself and do her own stuff, and she will start to love that. Okay, so that's where you encourage her to branch out and do her own things by you first doing that. So you're leading by example. That's really important, because you need to establish you need to establish the flow of the relationship, so that you're in control of it, and that you're also giving her control, of her world and her part of the relationship too. So you're not both reliant on each other. Okay, so you're looking outwards for entertainment, to be happy and satisfied. So that's one element of it. So how do you maintain that attraction when you're, you can't just expect the attraction to suddenly be there when you're spending time with other people and doing stuff away from each other. So this is when you do come back together again, after having all these experiences outside of each other, that's when you need to connect and talk and bond. That's really, really important. So when you come home from a day of work or from a day of socializing with your friends, you want to make sure you go to her first, that she is still the most important thing in your life, despite the fact that you have all these other interests. So you come home, you go to her first, you give her a hug or start talking to her about your day, start sharing your experiences. You want to be as open and transparent about what you've been doing as possible, because you don't want to start developing an untrusting sort of relationship. So if you're always honest about everything, then she's going to feel safe. And when she feels safe, she will allow you to go out and do more stuff on your own. And she won't feel like she needs to cling onto you all the time, which is suffocating once again, right? So that's what you want to do. When you come back, connect with her. Get her to connect with you, because that's what you both need to stay connected and attracted to each other. That is really key to happiness, is not relying on each other to make each other happy. Is to understand that, you're responsible for your own happiness, and that you are in control to make your partner happy. And your partner has the ability to make you happy, but you should never come to rely on that, because, you can never rely on what someone else is going to do, or how someone else will, whether they're having a good day or a bad day. Because I see a lot of times when your partner's having a bad day, you tend to get down yourself. Like, a lot of people seems to get down because their partner's down. Now, you don't need to do that. Why allow your partner's feelings, mood to bring you down? You don't need to go down with them, okay? you can sympathize with them and try to understand them and, still show you support them. But the best thing you can do now is actually to, make yourself happy, lead by example, make yourself happy, and then trying to influence that positiveness, to your partner. So then you bring your partner up too. So that is the best way to do it, instead of the negative, dragging your partner down all the time, or allowing your partner to drag you down. So that's the other thing, is that if you have control of yourself, you can control how you allow someone else to make you feel too. And if you don't like where it's going, well, you have the power to remove yourself from the room, remove yourself from the house, or go off and do something else. Okay, and then you can come back and then you can talk about it and you communicate like adults. So basically, that's the key to maintaining a good, happy relationship with a woman. She doesn't actually want you to do all these things for her. When she's demanding a bunch of stuff, probably the worst thing you can do is buying into that. In order for her to be happy, you just need to do all these things, because that's what she falsely believes. You don't want to fall into that trap of believing that's going to work, because it's only a short-term solution that's going to only lower her respect for you in the long term and lose the attraction she has for you as well. So you don't want to do that.